Oh my god, it actually happened. Sentinels got eliminated from champs without winning a single game. Crazy, I know. This will be the last VCT video I make about Sentinels for 2025. And it came in a bit of a shock here on Haven. We're going to pick it up at round number 14. Now, here's the thing you need to know. Sen won 3 attack rounds. They were 5-7 down after the first half. One was the pistol round. The second one is the round you're about to see, which, as you'll see, still doesn't go great. And then the third one was a 1v1 clutch. Those are the 3 rounds that Sen won. So not great. Let's pick this game up, though, here, as it is going to be round number 14. It's a second round for XLG. And you know what? This round is going to start off very, very well for Sentinels, right? XLG, you know, go for this kind of play. Now, one thing to notice, Sen are doing their kind of all stinger buy that they, you know, seem to like to do. And we'll get into that a little bit as well, because it is a bit unusual and it is a bit unique, right? But the general idea of this stinger buy, as you can see now, we end up in a 5v2, right? So this is a full 5v2 where they have the site. Keep that in mind. But the idea of this stinger buy somewhat is that, you know, if you lose here, right, you still potentially have the ability to, you know, potentially go and buy again, right? Or if anyone dies, you know, it's not a disaster, because you can buy in this next round potentially and you know, potentially even force back on your opponents. So even in the bad scenarios, you have the chance to go and do something. Now, here's the thing. Sen think this round is over because you can see they don't plant the spike here so that they can greed narrate some Molotobs. Now, this isn't wrong. This is, you know, this isn't the mistake that Sentinels make. The mistake that they're going to make is after this first shot by Raga, which is just a nice shot, right? It's still a 4v2. The round should still end. Then what you're going to see is everyone from that point takes a 1v1.
Raga still finds a headshot. Almost at this sort of range. A chance to overcome the stinger. No man's found one. Raga found another one!
No way!
So yeah, again, I know that a lot of people are going to be like, oh, this is why, you know, you shouldn't be greedy here, Sentinels, or that. That's nonsense, right? Most of the time, this isn't happening. And even for the most part as well, you know, in almost all situations of this, you know, like, No Man doesn't hit that shot and he dies. Raga doesn't hit the second shot on the rate and he dies. No Man doesn't hit that shot, right? And like, in all of those other situations, they're absolutely fine and they win the round and there's no, you know, no one cares, right? They just happen to have rolled this time, the one time where actually, you know, XLG hit every single shot and they headshot you 4 times in a row. And sometimes that happens, right? I don't think this is the craziest thing of all time. I mean, from XLG's perspective, it's kind of crazy, but this isn't, you know, like a crazy big mistake from Sen, but it did start a bit of a worrying trend, and I think it might have affected them a little bit. Now, Zekken, you know, from this point on, plays it pretty well, gets in the 1v1 and decides that he's gonna now go for the re-wrap flank and actually makes it work.
Around the world, it's smart. He's cleared sight. The first assumption would be long, but actually Raga expecting this garage adjustment as Zekken slides on by. Stun goes in, Raga avoids, but it keeps him off from getting half. And the adjustment through towards CT, does Raga expect it? He doesn't, and it's brilliant from Zekken!
So Zekken saves them right there, but the reason I wanted to show that round as well was, you know, just one kind of like a bit of a worrying sign there, right, in the second round, but also because it has an impact on the econ of round 3, right, because Sen decide to force up. So they don't play for a bonus, they decide we're going to go for this, and that leaves them on very low money, which basically makes this a full buy round, right? So now they have to go and win round 15. Which they don't.
Just get the round on the board. Here we go. The ones that start to matter now gonna start piling up. The buy rounds coming in. 3 away from the ult for Zekken. Moment in a nasty little position here. Does the out drone clear? It does. Happy Away in the meantime catches Zelsis, but bang, teed up to succeed. Looks towards backside, but a little late to that one. Happy Away was still there, fine with it.
so fast.
Raga, how are you behind them? Oh my word, Narrate gets away with daylight robbery on that kill, but it's Happy Away who's the immovable object. And
so Sen decided to go just for the full CXX, right? They don't do anything else. Everyone's here. They're just going for this CXX. Now, they put down this smoke here. Here is, I think, the problem that they have is they kind of half foot in, half foot out, right? Like right there, when they go for that, a part of me thought, well, he's jump peaked and they put that smoke down. He's just going to send it now, right? Like now they're just going to run forward, but they don't quite do that. And this is, I think, where they run into this problem where they almost pick like the worst timing possible, right? They don't go straight for it, They don't go like full steam ahead, here we go, I'm going in, which means that, you know, both Raga gets very fast on this flank, but also means that this second player can rotate in. But then they also go before, you know, this Viper Orb is down, and before, like, they're going to get a Snake Bite in here as well, right? So the Snake Bite comes in, and the Viper Orb is up, and that means that Zekken and these, you know, no one else can run in. So Bang TP's in, but then he's completely alone, right? Now, obviously, you get a spam kill as well, right? Obviously, not ideal. Sometimes that happens. What are you going to do? Right, so you get a spam kill, but now, like, no one else is in. It's just Bang, who does manage to get this kill just here, right? But now, again, it's another situation where Bang decides he's got to go now, right? And he perhaps is feeling like, you know, there's other players potentially, you know, on their way quickly. So maybe he feels like he does have to do this. And so he's now going to try and flash, and they're going to try and stun back sight here from Zekken as well. But you see that no one else is actually even close, right? Like, they're not even close to getting anywhere on the site. It feels like either Bang could wait here because, you know, no one else can get in with him, right? And we just say, well, we traded this wall for the Snake Bite, and the orbs are, you know, going to go down eventually, right? You could do that. Maybe he can think to chill here, but I do understand he maybe feels like there's more pressure coming his way. But, you know, they kind of did neither thing, right? And that obviously then leads to, you know, the rest of kind of the round and what happens. No one else manages to get in onto the site. The rest of XLG obviously make their way over there and then clean it up. But you see, because they had to force in round 15, that meant they were on a Giga Eco for round 16, so we quickly ended up at 7-9. And this is where things started to cascade a little bit for Sentinels, because you see what's going to happen in the next round is they're going to go for this kind of early A control, but just have Zekken on his own here out towards kind of, you know, the first part of mid. And, well, Happyway just takes a random timing swing, and hey, he gets a free kill. Great, right? And this, again, just feels like one of those things where it's like, you know, normally, like, your duelist would be with the pack here, and, you know, would be doing that. And this, like, think about this. If this is Zellsis, do you think Zellsis would be here? Right? If those two had swapped, do you think Zellsis would be here, just looking this way on his own? Probably not. Right? It just feels like one of those things where a duelist player isn't thinking like, you know, oh, I'm on my own for a second in this default, so, you know, let's just play it a bit more conservatively. I'm a duelist player. I'm gonna go and, you know, take a fight. And you end up, you know, dying to a swing there from Happyway, right? That's kind of what it feels like. Like, again, obviously not great. Happyway gets rewarded. But then this next part of the round as well, it is quite crazy, right? So from there, and again, this is something that Zellsis himself loves to do, right? Is push up down C long here, you know, get into this cubby, and you see No Man gets down here, but he doesn't even stop there, right? He decides to then keep going and pushes all the way up here, right? So just take a look at this, because Sen are now going to try and, you know, come in towards Garage, and they're even going to go and break this turret, right? But XLG do not move. They don't move at all, because they've got such good control down C long that they think, well, even if you do come into the C site, we're in a great spot to retake. We've got all of this, right? And the potential to maybe even come back here as well. So they just don't care when all this gets broken. And yeah, they are going to get a little bit unlucky here, I would say, Sen, with the next couple of kills you're going to see. But again, this comes out of that first kill and then that massive control that they had down C long.
Get a progress here, right? They've broken past that line. How far does he want to go? Not too much further. Maybe happy enough with this.
There's still a turret to overcome here, but Zellsis can't really make progress elsewhere because that will leave the back door open in terms of flank control.
Okay, there's our next checkpoint crossed. They can be on C now. Now we know that they're backing away from this. Still got to
be careful about the audio cues, though. Yep. Again, they're not going to know that actually No Man is the puppet master of this round.
Fully in control of this. But Viva's got a lot of work. He's still got his dart, so could be fine for this one. Going to be forced to slip probably through the wall.
Oh, no.
But he takes one with him. Bang gets punished, and he still lives. This is wild stuff. John QT suffering a similar fate here. XLG have Sentinels on the ropes. A desperate plan to try and get anything working for them. But Zellsis and Narrate, I mean, there was a pixel, but it's just going to be lethal. Zellsis, what you got for me? A 1v5.
Outside the site as well, yeah.
Hell, I'll get a Sentinels tattoo at this point if you want to pull that one off.
Okay, so not a great situation for Sen. Bang had no TPs, your duelist is dead, getting into the site isn't going to be easy, yada yada yada. They lose the round, right? But Sen finally won a round. Let's pick it up at round 19, where Sen have just won. So this is like their chance to, you know, get back into it, right? And this is where, again, I think sometimes you can overcomplicate things a little bit, right? And the reason I say that is because we've got a Viper's Pit here. The most kind of, I would say, common round that you'll see with Viper's Pit, and XLG did it themselves, is you just walk down here and you just do a pit and you try and plant the spike and you just run back. That's a very common round that you'll see, but Sen don't go for that, even though they kind of, it's almost like I don't even know, they're gonna fake like they're going B. You can see the Raga's pushed down C long here. They're gonna fake as if like that is kind of what they're doing, right? So we go for this wall, we go for the Omen smoke here, we fake a TP in. And yeah, maybe we just overcomplicate things, I don't know. A Viper's Pit then actually comes out from XLG. So in a way, they kind of win that exchange, right? Like, hey, we traded a smoke and a neon wall for Viper's Pit. Like, that's pretty good. Whilst that's going on, they drone down C. Raga shoots it with his op. So they see he's here. You know, he now leaves. And now that kind of like fake B pressure is kind of obviously fake when you're droning this, right? Like, that's quite obvious. But for whatever reason, these guys, and Bang still does have a smoke here, by the way, as well, right? He has smoke and paranoia, you know, so they still got some things to use. They decide, you know, they don't want to come into garage here and try and, like, you know, hit the go button on this. They decide to cancel for whatever reason, right? I don't quite know why. You know, maybe they feel like they don't have enough tools there, I guess. But you've got a stun, a flash, smoke, right? It feels like maybe you did have enough. And it also feels like maybe they just didn't realize where this pit actually was. Because now it's like they came back to B, and now they stare at the pit. And now you see again, like, it's like we're a little bit confused. So what the round they then come up with is we're going to fake kind of this, you know, Sova go down Soul away whilst we actually then go and do a C-split. But remember, they didn't actually like break any of this Killjoy util before, right? They never went into garage here before. They didn't destroy this turret when they were droning down C long, so they didn't actually destroy any of that. And XLG, again, were just pretty happy to just kind of sit where they were.
Now he's feeling good about this. Does he stay committed? I feel like you would, right? Like, you've got a couple more seconds. Because that turret's still there. This system had worked last time. You had no man in this position, and they have no idea. They're just waiting here. Turret now finally goes in. Raga has to push forward. It's just picture perfect. Zekken finally drops down Raga, but it's Zekken and Narrate, and no man's got their number.
We're going to see these three, right? Keep your eye on these three. So they're going to destroy this turret. They're going to slide, destroy this turret. And at this point, again, XLG, they're just staying where they are, right? They don't really care. They're trusting themselves. They destroy the turret. The turret being destroyed is going to force Raga forward. Now, luckily for him, there's only one guy here. If there was two guys here, he probably goes 1-for-1. Luckily for him, it's just one guy. But really what's going to lose the round for them here, Sen, is No Man, right? Because he's going to swing garage window and kill two people. Now we have to talk about Bang's smoke here, because he's going to put a smoke down here, you can just see. Now you may also be able to see that there is already a Viper Orb here, right? So there is already a Viper Orb down in this spot. So what that means is, I don't know what the fuel situation is. They probably used it somewhat to try and like fake this a little bit, so maybe it's not great. But let me just talk about kind of rules of smokes. The rules should be basically smoke where you are first and deal with the other stuff later, right? The reason that I say that is, even the way it goes down, right, these two are both gonna die. But there is a case here, right, where No Man comes down here, and just as these guys are now trying to get onto site, he like just kills John, right? And the spike gets dropped just as they were about to get into site, and these two are already on site, right? That's something that could happen. Or what happens here could happen, right, where he kills both of you. The thing is, if someone is back here, right, and manages to kill you, and the spike gets dropped somewhere on site, that's not a disaster, right? You can still win the round. You pick up the spike, plant it, it's not a disaster. If someone kills you in garage, and you have to come back and get the spike, that is a disaster, right? One is like, not great, but winnable. The other is not winnable. And this one, with the way it goes down, is not, like for Zekken here, this is not winnable now. Right? The second player is going to be there by the time he picks up the spike. It's not happening. The round is over. Now, also, you could say that, you know, those two shouldn't... I'll show you the replay of how he actually gets those kills, because you also might say that those two should be more aware that this could be possibly the case, right? You see here that they're both, you know, a little bit unsure of what exactly to do, you know, and they both end up dying. Not great as well, right? But you see there that Sen, again, it's just kind of these small little things that just kept costing them. But then by the very next round, it really felt like Sen were either tilted or had just completely lost their minds.
Out. Is it out?
Got the pit, got the lockdown, so they can almost clear sight and try and secure with the pit. But
the Outlaw as well, got to throw
XLG
that
have got
in.
3 here. They might even just...
Are they going fast? Okay, the paranoia is super good though. Zekken getting mullet though. Melted Coconut. Just devastating. What is that? Bang is out of here. Now Happyway wants in.
Okay, so this one is a disaster in kind of a couple ways. It's well played by XLG, to be fair. One thing I don't get this dart. I don't understand it at all. You're doing a fast A exec. Why not save it for the part where you're actually about to go in? Like, do a lineup that lands like when Zekken can actually get there. I don't understand that, to be honest. I don't get the dart really at all. But they're going for this fast exec. The rest of it is pretty good, right? The neon wall comes in. You got the snake bite with the nano swarm. You know, Happyway does a pretty good job here of actually just about managing to get past it, right? And actually get back in onto the site. The Omen Flash here is good. The stun coming from Zekken. The one thing that is good by XLG, though, is these two also do a good job of Omen flashing back, getting a Sova dart up here that's going to reveal him. He's Omen blind. And because he's Omen blind, I think he thinks, I can't really go for like an aggressive slide here. And then, because, like, they all are hit by Omen flashes, right? All 3 of these players now are Omen blind. But the thing is, he gets revealed. So they see where he is and kill him, right? So that's kind of a bit of one of them. What I don't get is Lockdown then comes in. Don't understand that one. The rest of the team then kind of chills, right? But then it's like, well, they have a Sova ult. So what? I don't get what... Like, we did an exec and then we locked down, even though we know that they can destroy it. We kind of missed that timing completely. We then kind of backed up when we realized that, oh, they've got a Sova ult, which we should have known already. You know, it just feels like we wasted a lockdown. You know, like, we could have played this in a couple different ways, right? We could have, like, silently kind of walked up here, locked down. They're going to destroy it with a Sova ult. Oh, let's exec whilst they're doing that, right? And one of their players has to just ult something else. Like, we also just wasted a lockdown, essentially, and had a pretty bad round. And yeah, okay, we got spammed again, maybe a bit unlucky, but just not a great round. And then let's quickly take a look at the last round as well, where you're going to see again, Sen at this point had just lost their minds. They must have been tilted at this point. I refuse to believe anything else, because you're going to see, we're going to like fake this kind of C-long exec. Then we're going to walk into Garage here. You know, no util. So we're faking a fast play to then just swing into this and whiff as well. You know, no util. Like, Jesus, man. Just run a fast C-split if that's what you want to do. It doesn't make any sense. And they end up losing the game and going home.
Might just have to face the music.
Trying to back away, narrate's caught.
One gonna come in, trying to find a win condition, find a chance to use that ult. He has clutched up for this side before.
It's quite shallow, though. He's got to commit towards a very deep hold in towards the archway here.
Oh, man.
Got a snake bite. He can slow down if he does get a kill.
What can he do? Paranoia's in, trying to slow down that roll, trying to buy them some time. Has to try and fight 30 HP. I think they might have just done this. XLG are sending Sentinels home!